Hello and welcome back to Totally Abstracted. Today I want to talk about something that's been happening behind the scenes of my own practice. Something I didn't expect, didn't plan, and if I'm really honest, felt a bit guilty about. I've been setting weekly mini challenges in my membership about breaking away from the horizon line, encouraging everyone to stretch, loosen, experiment, but I found myself drifting straight back to it whenever it gets hard. The horizon line has become this, gravitational pull in my work. Even when I intend to avoid it, there it is again, cutting the canvas in half. It's funny how strong our artistic habits are. They're like grooves our minds fall into without thinking about it. So this week, a bit fed up with fighting myself, I opened up Procreate on my iPad. Now, digital tools were how I first found my way back to art years ago. Before I picked up palette knives and catalyst wedges, before oils and cold wax medium, it was me on the iPad. But after years of physical material since then, part of me felt like returning to Procreate was cheating. Like using the undo button was taking the easy route, rather than the battle of applying and scraping back layers of paint. And yet the moment I was back in that digital space, something inside me relaxed. I started playing, exploring, trying different brushes and blend modes. And the horizon line, well, it completely vanished. I made two pieces, one moody and vertical, all deep greens and mist, the other full of energy and chaos, blues and golds dancing with each other, not anchored at all to land and sky. That one is on Instagram if you want to see it. And they felt so free to make. They almost felt like unlearning something, and like I'd given myself and my creativity a moment to breathe. And that made me stop and ask myself, why do I feel guilty for using a tool that works? I think there's this lingering belief many artists carry that digital work is somehow less real, as if the undo button is immoral in some way, and as if layers are shortcuts. But if you step back from this story long enough, you notice it isn't true. The undo button isn't cheating, it's feedback. You tried something, you didn't like it, so you try something different. Layers aren't shortcuts, they're just a way to try different things without that fear or constraint that says you might mess up. I think digital tools can reveal what you're trying to say when you're not terrified of ruining a canvas. And yes, I know none of us should be terrified of ruining a canvas. It's only paint. But so many of us do feel that way. And telling ourselves again and again not to doesn't always help shift things. Sometimes you need a completely different approach. So what I realized this week is that digital play showed me something my physical practice couldn't. It revealed where the old patterns hide, where the horizon line sits like a script I haven't quite learned to rewrite yet. And instead of fighting that, Procreate let me sidestep it. Digital work gave me space to test ideas without consequence. I pushed composition further. I worked vertically, diagonally, however I wanted, and it didn't matter when I made a wrong move. It was easy to go back a step or respond to that move in a different way. That kind of psychological safety does something to your creativity. It loosens it, and looseness is the door to expression. I think sometimes the tools we secretly love are the ones we judge the harshest, because they reveal the gap between who we think we should be and who we actually are when no one's watching. And if you're an expressive artist, your truest work is always going to come from who you are when no one's watching. So if you're listening to this and you've got a medium you miss, or a tool you abandon because it felt too easy, or a method you've written off because it doesn't look serious enough, maybe it's time to give it another go. Because in my case, returning to Procreate didn't make me less of a painter. It reminded me why I paint. It reminded me that expression isn't tied to the substance you push around. It's tied to the freedom you feel while doing it. And so, yes, I'm still going to keep working on breaking up with the horizon line. I've set this challenge for my members, but really it's become a conversation with myself too. But this week taught me something important. Maybe the horizon isn't the problem. Maybe the real challenge is giving ourselves permission to explore the paths that actually free us, even if they're digital, even if they're unexpected, even if part of us feels guilty for enjoying them. Digital play has become, for me, a little path back to expression. A reminder that creativity doesn't care how you get there. It just wants you to keep moving. And if you're in my membership and you're joining in with the weekly No Horizon challenges, feel completely free to use whatever tool you want to. It all counts. Every medium can teach you something. Every experiment can reveal a truth. And every tool, physical or digital, is valid if it helps you access that place where your real work lives. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're feeling stuck this week, try picking up the tool you've abandoned. Keep painting, keep exploring, and as always, keep things totally abstracted.